What's up, everybody, and welcome to our very first edition of Brooklyn Versus, where we get after some of the hottest topics in sports, the hottest players in sports, from a Brooklyn point of view. Let me introduce you to the crew. We got Win right here. We got the analyst Chris Venture, and of course, Mr. Sports Science, Dr. Sports Science, Philly Cags. I'm Mike Boo, bringing it to you. And our very first topic, Brooklyn's gonna get after Kirk Cousins.
Go Bridgeside!
So let me just bring it to you guys. Kirk Cousins, next season, will play for Phil.
I think the easy answer is still the Vikings. They're the best team. They're the best team with a quarterback position opening. They have enough cap room to sign him. They got somewhere over $40 million to sign him. They were a game away from the Super Bowl, and Cousins wants to play for a winner. Why? It makes sense.
You know that
it doesn't make sense for him to go anywhere else. Who doesn't want to play for a winner? Of course, I know that.
Money also has.
Yeah, but
the Jets are going to give him $60 million guaranteed in his first year.
He doesn't care about the guarantee for the first year.
$60 million.
He
you don't
cares
care
about the guarantee for the whole contract. The guarantee for the whole contract.
So what are they going to give him? What can the Vikings?
Well, they
give
have
him?
$46 million, I think, this year in the
cap
space. That's this year. I don't know 100% what they can do for the years after, but he's worried about guaranteed total. If the Jets say we can guarantee you $60 million this year, but the Vikings can guarantee the same amount over 5 years, what's the difference?
Chris, I don't think that's going to happen.
Who does he go to?
I agree. I think he should. Let me put it this way. I don't know where he's going to go to, but I think he should go to the Vikings if he's smart. Because even if the Jets give him a lot of money, extra, okay? I mean, he's going to make a lot of money either way. He's probably going to have the biggest contract for a quarterback ever. Sure. Right? Yeah. So, after what Jimmy Garoppolo got paid for getting 7 starts in his career.
How funny is it how the highest paid players right now, we got Garoppolo, these are not the best players in the NFL.
No, it's just the money.
They're getting
the money
right
flow.
Rodgers is waiting for his contract.
Oh,
but
too much money.
That happens because once these guys leave, everybody's dying for that franchise quarterback. So instantly, that quarterback becomes the highest paid.
So let me ask you a question. Because you just said is Kirk Cousins a franchise quarterback?
100%.
Oh!
Wait, I'm sorry.
What happened to me talking?
We're going to go. And he at me.
All right,
Where's Cousins going?
Kirk Cousins is going to go to the Denver Broncos.
Why the Denver Broncos?
Why? Because
they have $20 million in cap room. You talk about guaranteed money.
John Elway.
Oh, John Elway.
He's going to sit down.
Stinks.
He's going to sit down.
The Jets are better than the Broncos right now.
And the Broncos are on their way out.
The what?
The
Why are
defense
the Broncos
is old.
better than the Jets?
The defense is old.
The Broncos have weapons on offense. They have Demaryius Thomas. Who's he going to throw to in New York?
Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, okay. Let him go spit in somebody else's guy's
really
face.
Cares about who he's going to throw to be honest. I think he just wants to get paid. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, we don't know for sure. Yeah, he said you think he cares about winning.
I think he cares about
winning.
Everybody cares about winning.
They care about both. They care about both, right?
And the Vikings can give him both. Sorry.
The Vikings give him the money, but they just give him a lot more money, I think. But the thing is, it's all going to come down to a lot of it is the coach too. Is he going to like, Vikings? Or is he going to like playing for the Jets? Who's he going to like playing for better? Like the coach-wise, their scheme, everything.
Yeah.
Now listen, Cousins has been doing great. I kind of agree with Win a little bit about being a franchise quarterback because he's been doing good for the past 3 years in a row with no running game whatsoever, pretty much.
None.
For those 3 years. So he throws for what? 4,500, 5,000 yards every year.
But it's a different game. Everybody throws for that.
I mean,
I understand, but he's solid.
Statistically, his numbers,
good.
It's always double touchdowns to interceptions. But I mean, talking about guys who never won a playoff game. All right.
Right.
Every year he's 9-7, 8-8, 7-9.
But is that a reflection of him?
Or is that a reflection of the team?
What else do we have to base it on? I mean, we only have so much information.
If you put Kirk Cousins on the Vikings or on the Broncos, they would be a better team than the Redskins.
Don't put the Broncos and Vikings in the same category.
Why?
Please.
The Broncos had a bad season last year because they had no quarterback. Okay, and the defense wasn't great and fell apart. But they're 2 years away from being a ridiculous defense. With Von Miller, the best defensive player in football.
No,
2 years ago.
They're going on their way out. They're all older now.
2 years ago, if I told you Case Keenum and Travis Simeon, you probably would have said they were around the same.
Say that again?
2 years ago, if I said Case Keenum, Travis Simeon, you would have said, they're probably around the same guy.
Yeah.
The Vikings were getting away from the Super Bowl. The Broncos were 5-11.
Yeah,
so obviously the Vikings are much better than the Broncos.
Are we sure that Kirk Cousins is such an upgrade over Case Keenum?
Case Keenum's very
I'm not
underrated.
100% sure.
He's
You're
underrated.
not 100% sure. Why would you pay this guy so much money?
He's underrated, but it's not even close.
Well, if you're the Vikings, right? If you're the Vikings, you're thinking, let me get a franchise because to everybody, this is a franchise quarterback in the NFL. In their eyes, you know what I mean?
He's a top 10 quarterback.
But coaches look at their quarterbacks that they got, and they're like, are these franchise quarterbacks? No, probably not. And they look at Cousins, they're like, this guy is.
Well, wait, I'm going to tell you, a top 10 quarterback is not a franchise quarterback.
Of course he is.
Why?
Of course it is.
Not always.
Because the top 10 12 teams make the playoffs. If you have a top 10 quarterback, then you're going in better than 2/3 of the league in terms of quarterback play.
Now, here's the thing
Quarterbacks
about
win
that, though.
championships.
Things change, though. Matt Ryan was probably a franchise quarterback last year.
He's
when
still
he brought
a
the Super Bowl.
franchise
Yeah, but this
quarterback.
year, he did all this.
I'm
did
sorry.
really bad, and everybody's shitting on him, saying,
He made the playoffs and won a game.
I know, but they were shitting on him because he had such a bad year. He didn't have that good of a year at all. And people, they're saying it's Matt Ryan. Like, quickly things can change.
Yeah,
in the
I
NFL.
get it.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Let me ask you something, Mike.
Well, okay, go ahead.
Because you mentioned Case Keenum, an upgrade. In 5 years, for the next 5 years, who would you rather have, though? Case Keenum or Kirk Cousins?
I don't think it's that much of a
Really?
difference that I would pay this guy.
Safety was.
Case
What I'm
Keenum,
saying,
the sustainability.
listen,
That's
and here's
rolling
where
the
it
dice.
comes in, Phil, is you're talking about a sport that has a salary cap, okay? And if you're going to devote so much money to this guy, you better be sure that he's a big upgrade over Case Keenum.
The salary cap that's gone up $60 million over the past couple of years. It keeps going up.
He also has Teddy Bridgewater. They also have Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Bradford.
What does that mean, though?
But I'm saying because they have other quarterbacks that they could sign themselves. If they were smart,
all the same.
they sign
Keenum's
one
not
and
proven.
sign Kirk Cousins.
Sure, he's not
Right.
proven, but
That's
at
what
the end of the day, is Kirk Cousins really that proven? I'm not sure he is.
3 years.
3 months.
3
Is it
years.
only 3 or is it 4?
3 years. What's
the year before that?
What's the most touchdowns he's thrown for in a year?
29 touchdowns.
29 touchdowns, all right? We're going to give this guy $1 bazillion. He's never thrown... Blake Bortles, what's the most touchdowns he's thrown for in a year?
Well, don't talk about the bazillion dollar thing. Jimmy Garoppolo just got paid.
Jimmy Garoppolo just got $140 million.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying.
So the market's high.
There's a couple ways to me that you can guarantee yourself, and you can be right in giving a guy a lot of money. It's either, a proven track record.
3 years is pretty good.
A proven track record, or it could be raw talent. And Garoppolo is like raw talent. Even Stafford made a lot of money. I'm okay with that because he's a guy who's
a cannon,
Yeah, this is a guy who has
he's
the
never
pedigree.
won a playoff game.
Kirk Cousins,
Wait, hold on. You bring up Stafford.
You'd rather have Stafford over Cousins?
I
Are you
would.
out of your
I
mind?
would.
Hold on a second.
No way.
You bring up
I would.
Stafford.
Stafford's
Stafford's got raw talent. Boy,
stinks.
He's been in
No, he doesn't.
quite
So
a bit of
overrated.
years now. He's been in for quite a bit of years now and hasn't won a playoff game.
That's okay.
Sounds like somebody I know, Kirk Cousins, has never won a playoff game.
But Stafford's been a lot longer than Cousins.
Matthew Stafford had Calvin Johnson. He had the best receiver.
But they never had a good D.
I don't know, man.
They never had a good running game.
Do the Redskins have a great defense?
I agree with you with that, but I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is
He's had a lot
bad.
of years to prove it, and he still hasn't won a playoff game. And you mentioned playoff game for Cousins.
I don't see
Playoff win, I'm sorry.
Listen, and here's a couple. I'm going to bring up something else as well. We don't even know that this guy is a great guy in the clubhouse. They've been reports that he's...
You like that?
Yeah, but I've heard reports. There's reports out there that he's not he's not well liked by his teammates. His coach basically hung him out to dry in the middle of the year. He wouldn't guarantee that he was coming back.
Oh, so perfect. He'll fit right in with the Jets. So hopefully the Jets get him.
Nobody's saying that, but I think the Jets, like I mentioned before, I like the Broncos. I think
the Jets more than the Broncos.
Me too. I think the Jets have a better shot.
Well,
I think they have so many more weapons, the Broncos.
Yeah, but it's about money.
You're right
too.
there.
Let me ask
They're
you
not
this,
too far apart, and then you talk about the money.
Yeah, the
you're
money.
You're saying the Jets could give the.
Do you think Demarius Thomas
Hold on a second.
is a Decepticon, as you
when
would
I
put
said
it.
the Vikings,
Like,
you said
is a transformer.
When I said the Vikings, you said they can't give enough money. The Broncos could give less money than the Vikings.
Yeah, and the Vikings.
No,
are
I'm
more
talking about between the
set.
Jets and Vikings.
So Jets and Broncos. The Jets can give the most.
I understand that, but I'm not talking about when you take everything into
rank your
play.
likeliness of teams.
I say
Broncos won, obviously.
I think he should go to the Broncos, but I say Jets, Broncos, Vikings.
Why Broncos over Vikings?
Yeah.
Because
Explain Broncos over Vikings.
I think that John Elway factors a lot.
I don't think that's enough.
John Elway
Nobody
did
cares
one
about
good thing.
John Elway.
What do you mean?
He signed Peyton Manning.
I understand that.
And it wasn't that hard of a thing to do. You Peyton Manning.
If you go sit down with John Elway,
he can put his rings on the table.
Yeah, and who the Jets going to bring in? Chad Pennington?
Joe Namath, baby.
Yeah, Joe Namath. He's in a walker somewhere.
Yeah, I got a question.
Joe Namath.
I got a question for you. Who's more set up to win a Super Bowl within the next 3 or 4 years? The Broncos or the Vikings? The Vikings. So that's why, and they have more money too.
They have more money than the Broncos.
Yeah.
I agree. It's just, I'm not saying you guys are wrong. It's just a gut feeling that I have.
You think that he should go there?
I'm going to switch the conversation a little bit. If you're a Jets fan, do you want them to sign Kirk Cousins?
100%.
You want something positive. You want something positive.
I couldn't disagree with you more. You're talking about a team. Are you going to tell me right now that if the Jets get Kirk Cousins, that they're anything more than like a 5 or 6 win team?
Absolutely.
I think they're more.
Then they have a number 6 pick that they can take.
I think they're an 8
win. You know what they should use that number 6 pick for?
On a quarterback.
Okay,
but it's not going to be a good one.
I'll ask you, if the Jets don't sign Cousins, and then they're talking about Plan B being Teddy Bridgewater, and then they don't draft a quarterback, how are you selling that team to your fan base?
First of all, Bridgewater should be like a Plan Z, okay?
You want to talk
How
New
are
York
you
Jets?
playing? What if they bring back Josh McCown? I hear things about the Jets bringing back Josh McCown.
If you want to talk Jets,
the fans
40 years old.
The fans should throw rocks.
There's too many other pieces there.
If you want to talk Jets,
yeah, but they can get Cousins and draft a 6 picks.
They have to sign Cousins or draft a quarterback.
100%.
There's no other way to go about it. All you Jet fans out there, Cousins or a quarterback.
You heard it.
No, but here's the thing. You have to think about the Jets' history too. Like with all these quarterbacks, how bad the quarterbacks have been, how badly they've been.
So what does that
managed.
mean? Never take one again?
No, that's why play the safe bet.
We'll do it without it.
What's the safe
The
bet?
safe bet is taking Cousins. It's paying the money for Cousins. That's a safe bet.
That's
a safe bet.
all in for Cousins.
You have to. You have to.
agree.
If you're the Jets and you miss on Cousins, then you go into the draft. Do you take Baker Mayfield?
No, that would be the worst thing ever.
I'm not a big Baker Mayfield fan, but that's what they're going to take, and he's going to stink.
Listen, I'm just having a hard time with you guys saying if you miss on Cousins, like he's this can't miss guy.
I know, but look at the rookies that the Jets had.
I'm having a hard time.
It's a bad omen. It's a bad omen.
They're not even listening here.
I'm sorry.
No,
we were talking about...
Guys trying to make a point. You have your own side conversation.
I apologize for that. We were actually just saying that all the Jets quarterbacks that they drafted, it's been a bad omen. So drafting another quarterback is probably going to have the same result.
You're never going to draft a quarterback again?
No, you get a veteran who's only 29 years old, so he's still got a lot of good years left.
Cousins has to pick the Jets.
Okay, but
if they don't,
go after him, spend the money.
If they don't, hold on one second. If they don't take Cousins, right?
What would you do?
What do you do?
I guess you have to go quarterback at 6.
All right, well, that's what I said.
But you know, if you do get Cousins and you pay that money, then you could get something else at 6, something to add value to the team.
If they don't get Cousins, it will be the best thing that ever happened to them.
You really think Cousins is that bad? I don't understand.
I don't think he's... You guys are talking, and everybody's talking
Forget the money for a second.
Can't-miss guy.
He's not a can't-miss.
There's way too many question marks. Forget about the money.
But he's been solid.
Name 10 quarterbacks better than him. You can't.
I'm not going to do that on the spot, but I probably could. I might be able to.
I don't know. I think that could... Forget about the money. I know he's going to get overpaid, obviously. That's
I also heard the Cardinals
he's a solid quarterback. You have to admit that he's a solid quarterback in the NFL.
The Cardinals are in a little play. They might be a little bit of a dark horse.
To me, it makes a lot more sense for a team that's close. I understand. Listen, I'm not going to say that
it makes no sense Vikings,
an upgrade over a guy like Keenum, and he's certainly a big upgrade over anybody in Denver. Denver's a good spot for him if he ends up.
Can I ask a final point? Can I ask a final point?
Yeah.
Where's he going? You're the only one who doesn't say
Yeah, you didn't say it.
I'm going to say that he's going to
go somewhere.
I'm going to say he's going to go to Minnesota.
Yeah, me too.
I do think he's going to end up there.
We all say that.
He should go to Denver, but...
You think he should go? Okay.
I think that's his best... I think that's his best landing spot, and... To me, it makes the most sense because they're in desperate need. Minnesota, to me, is not in desperate need.
How about this?
No, they're not.
How about this? I guarantee they win at least one Super Bowl if they get Kirk Cousins.
Who's
they? The Vikings.
I guarantee
that's really not that crazy.
I don't think. No, it is crazy. Well, it's very hard to win a Super Bowl.
He's guaranteed a Super Bowl. It's very hard. But they were one game away.
Right. So Cousins will be the edge they need.
They really do. Because you take away that play, they shouldn't have counted anyway.
Oh yeah.
Not that it shouldn't have counted, but
this could be the edge they need. This is the only thing they're missing.
I digress.
In their roster.
I digress.
All right. So to sum it up, you say he's going to the Vikings.
Yep. Vikings.
Broncos?
Yeah, I think he should go.
I like that dark horse pick, though.
And I'm going to say, you know what? Knowing the Jets, they might just get him because I said it's such a bad decision. I wouldn't be surprised.
So you say Jets?
No, but I'm going to go with the Vikings as well. That wraps up Brooklyn versus Kirk Cousins. Tune in later this week when Brooklyn goes after J.R. Smith throwing soup at people. Peace out.
Chunky.
Go Bridgeside.